All right, ladies and gentlemen, this week on Short Rest Studios, we're going to get to talk to my daughter Zoe about her first experience playing Dungeons and Dragons and what it's like to play together as a family. One of the things about D&D, and let's go ahead and get this out of the way. I mean, we mentioned this last week. There's all the OGL stuff going on right now, and what Wizards of the Coast is going to do, we don't know. So take this as, in general, playing role-playing games with your kids, with your family. Dungeons and Dragons was my first experience with a role-playing game as a teenager in the 80s, and when I began to get back into it, Zoe was interested, and so she joined us in playing. And so we're going to talk about D&D, but you guys know where Scott and I stand on the whole OGL controversy. But this is really about family and about playing games with our kids, which is something that's really, really special and important to me. So
family time.
That's right. That's right. So Zoe and I have here some little minis. So this is Zoe's character. She's still working on that, and this is just
incomplete.
An ogre, a reaper ogre that I painted recently.
He's cool. I like him.
Well, yours looks pretty darn good, man. You just got to finish
First
it.
time.
You're taking too long. Taking too long, right?
I have school.
I have work.
You get home. You
anyway.
have more time than I do. You can stay up later and do this crap all you want.
Hey. Anyway, all right. All right, so D&D. So your general, like, what did you think before the first time we played? Like, what was it that interested you about playing a role-playing game like D&D?
I mean, I guess the fact that it was something I hadn't really done before, and I was trying different things, and it sounded cool, and Stranger Things, but that was not the only reason.
Stranger
Things was not the only reason.
And now
I
she likes
to play.
Metallica too.
I don't listen to Metallica.
Anyway.
But I think, yeah, it would be because it was something I hadn't tried before, and it was something new. But I had heard about it before, and it was a role-playing game, and I had friends, and we do...
You have friends who played it.
I do.
Right? Or who knew about it.
Well, I didn't know he had known about it at the time.
Okay.
But...
So what was it that was interesting? Like, what made it sound interesting? Was it like that it was like the fantasy stuff?
Yeah. Like, you could be a dwarf, cleric, an elf.
Yeah.
Kind of whatever you wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
And you could sort of, it wasn't, not reality, of course, but you could bring it into your own life and play through that with other people.
Yeah. And to me, it's always interesting is that it's kind of like playing pretend, but then it's got that game aspect too.
Yeah.
So you're rolling the dice, and that kind of keeps things moving. Like for me, one of the things that I love is that, like if you're a bunch of adults sitting around playing pretend, first of all, that's weird. Okay, why are you doing that? And second of all, like, our imaginations just aren't that great anymore, and so we kind of run out of steam. Unlike when you were kids and you're playing and you're pretending and you just keep going forever, like we just run out of steam. And so having the combat in there with dice rolls and things is kind of helps things keep moving.
So it's not just a group of adults like
sad adults pretending to be dwarves
because they have nothing better to do with their lives.
Right. So, well, tell us about your character.
Okay.
The actual character. You can use the mini, but just, tell us about her.
So, the cleric, the dwarven cleric, Vanny Hillside is the name. I'm supposed to be like this really nice person who just, I'm supposed to be super nice, but obviously I did a really bad job at that, fighting people out of nowhere. I just made a random argument.
Well, she did pick a fight with some bad guys once. Yes.
But hey, they deserved it. They deserved to get beat up. Didn't I kill one of them?
You were standing up for what was right.
Yeah.
Because they were criminals, right?
And I have cousins who I'm supposed to be super worried about. And I did that very well.
Yeah.
Where's my cousin? Oh no, he's dead!
So, we probably should have maybe started with a little bit of a spoiler alert because we're playing through the Lost Mine of Fenrir, the original D&D starter set, 5e starter set. So if you don't want to hear anything about that, we're not going to get into too much detail, but if you don't want to hear anything about that, maybe skip the rest of this because we are going to talk about that. But that's the adventure we're playing. And so Zoe picked a fight with the Red Brands in the middle of
They deserved
Phandalin,
it. I killed one of them.
and you guys kicked their butts. But then there was also like I think like sometimes it was hard, right, playing with a group of adults.
Yeah, being an 11-year-old.
Yeah.
Out of a group of adults.
Right. And so sometimes Zoe maybe felt like she wasn't being listened to as much.
Yeah.
Which hey, no ding on anybody. We were all just trying to play the game and have fun. And it probably fell to me as the DM to try to make sure that you could be heard more. Mm-hmm. But I just want to bring that up because I think it's great that Zoe wanted to play with us. And
I think it's pretty cool that I stuck with it, even though I felt like I was
not
exactly listened to.
And despite that, like, did you still feel welcome at the table?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
it was really fun too.
Yeah.
Playing.
So I would encourage like DMs, especially if you're a dad, especially and you're DMing with your kids, make sure that they can be heard because that's the fun of the game, is that everybody kind of gets to be part of that creative process together. Mm-hmm. And so next time we play, I'm going to make sure to do that for you a little better. But also, you can also encourage them to just kind of stick their neck out there and say something. It's okay. That's what everybody else is doing too. So
obviously.
But I get it. Like it's hard being with a group of adults, and you don't want to be. If you're raised right, you don't want to be disrespectful, but you still want to play the game and you want to enjoy it with them. What is your... Well, so let's talk about this. Another kind of frustration that you had was like, as a cleric, a lot of times people are like, heal me, right?
And I'm like, I have spell slots. What do you mean heal you?
That's why we have clerics, because clerics...
Spell slots. I'll have like one.
They can kick butt and heal. Yeah, but you don't have to use a spell slot always to heal people.
I know, but half of the time I am using a spell slot to heal somebody because they fell off of a ladder.
Oh, well, that was... Yeah, let's not talk about Valthera.
That was really funny.
So the cool thing about clerics is that they can do that stuff. They can heal, and they're
butt.
Really good fighters. And I mean, tell us about. So you killed an owlbear in one shot,
and then somebody took his head.
Yeah, that would be Scott.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up some rocks, take this head, and leave.
Yep. He's carrying heads in his bag,
which is why it starts to smell.
Yes. So, what was your favorite part of those months of us?
I understand.
Shut up, Siri.
What is happening?
It's like your car.
Yeah. So, what was your favorite part of all those months playing D&D? Like, is there one thing part of the game that stands out to you?
What do you mean by that?
Like part of the story, something that happened in game that really stands out to you that was a lot of fun.
Well, I mean, the storyline's obviously really cool, and it's really well put together. I mean, it's not exactly a complete storyline, because you can change that with the things you do.
Right.
The setting was really cool, the idea of where you went,
mm-hmm.
and the things you could fight,
mm-hmm.
and obviously some very funny in-game moments, and the fighting.
Like, what was a funny one? Do you remember?
When Valthera fell off the ladder.
Yeah, that was pretty
Clumsiness.
Good. That was pretty good, and then immediately after that, Jen Quinn wasn't. It was at the same encounter. Well, in the same encounter though, she made all the goblins fall down laughing with Tasha's hideous laughter, which is all great.
But me and Jaden were fighting them alone half the time because they had to stand back up and climb the ladder again.
That's right. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
And also, the fight with the robot. I was just standing up there. You're idiots! Fight me!
So, what was your favorite encounter, like enemy to fight?
I mean, Spider Dude.
Oh,
What's his face?
The Black Spider.
Black Spider. Yeah.
Yeah,
that
so
was weird and cool and creepy, and I liked it.
I fiddled with the Black Spider a little bit. He wasn't the standard issue of Black Spider, but that was fun, and that was the first time that we did like dungeon tiles and all that stuff. Right?
I love how he just fell and died. He was standing on a pillar and he just whoop.
Yep.
That was very funny.
So, what was your least favorite enemy to fight?
I mean, when we were going to Thunder Tree, we had to fight constantly with zombies,
Yeah.
and they explode, and then they come back, and if you're near them when they explode, it takes damage. And
Yeah,
it
was the ash zombies in Thunder Tree. You hit them, and the first time they get hit, they spew out this ash that poisons you. And if you're within so far, you have to roll a constant dex save.
I don't think I had to. I think I was good.
Yeah, but yeah, you get poisoned, and then of course you kill them, and they keep coming back. You know,
I liked our idea with the whatchamacallit. We just threw them in the room.
Yeah, you locked them in the house.
Open the door.
And your mom, she's the rogue, and she used her ball bearings to, comically make them trip all over themselves.
This stucco.
And that was a fun.
Was cool. That was
a fun one. And then they burned the house down.
Yeah, that was the most creative we'd been, I think, in the game.
Yeah. Well, and that was like everybody
Ball
playing.
Bearings, that's what it was.
Like Scott and I were the only people at the table who played D&D before.
So we were
and so everybody kind of approached it like I don't know what I can do. Like they're just doing standard stuff, and like I was trying to encourage, and I probably could have encouraged it more, but I was trying to encourage everybody, just, think crazy, like just be ridiculous.
I like all the times you would
it's
tell
the rule
us.
of cool.
I like all these times you would think something and then you'd be like, I don't know, maybe. And we'd be like,
That's the
dang it!
That's the DM's job.
Then we're like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
That's
maybe.
the DM's job.
We don't know. You gotta help us, man.
I'm
just leaving us sitting there for like
I'm not
5
there
minutes.
to help you. I'm not there to
You're there to tell the story and roll the dice for the enemies.
And I'm there to guide you, but I don't, you got to make your own decisions. That's part of the fun of it. But so all in all, you would say that you enjoyed playing D&D.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to continuing our adventires?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we're gonna do some stuff. Like I'll draw a little bit from some existing material, but I'm gonna try to. Maybe homebrew is too strong a word, but try to put together try to put together something different, twist up some existing stuff and take us down a different road. So I'm really glad that you played with us, and
I'm glad I did.
And I'm glad that you're glad, and I'm looking forward to doing it again. I'm really glad that we can do that together. It means a lot. It means a lot to me.
Like 15 times.
I'm glad. But really, it means a lot to me to be able to do this with Zoe. I have another daughter too. She's a little older. She's not really interested in playing D&D.
She played for a little bit, and then she left. Kind of like Jaden did.
Yeah, but that's okay. We can do other things together. But this is really cool, and I would encourage you, if you have the opportunity, if you have kids and you have the opportunity to play a game like this with them, or whatever it is that you enjoy, just bring them in on it, man. That's a great way to spend time together.
If your kid has very wild imagination, let them play D&D.
Yeah.
Let them express that.
Yeah, and maybe I should address this. Like if you're about my age, which is, and you grew up in the 80s when D&D was still fairly new. I mean, I played in the advanced Dungeons and Dragons days, right? AD&D, and that was kind of during the era. Well, and those of you who are too young to remember it may have watched Stranger Things season 4, and you're familiar with that, all that stuff, people overreacting about D&D being satanic and all that.
It's not a cult, people.
It really happened.
It's a game.
Though. It really happened. That stuff really happened. People really had those kind of attitudes. And if you grew up during that, then I just want to encourage you. It's not what that era, many people of that era made it out to be. It's really just a way of telling stories together. And if you don't want to do the D&D fantasy thing, you don't have to. There are plenty of other role-playing games that offer different settings. You can homebrew your own settings for whatever RPG you want to play. But I would encourage you, man, like it's really just the creativity to be able to engage in that with your friends, but also with your children, to have that creativity and gameplay. Because the thing is, yes, as the DM, like I play the NPCs and the bad guys, but at the same time, we're all collaborating together and telling this story. So it's not a competitive thing even, which there's nothing wrong with playing competitive games together. We do that too, but it's a
kittens.
Exploding kittens.
I love it.
Yeah, but it's a collaborative thing, and it's just a lot of fun to be able to do that with your kids. So I want to encourage you to do that. So thank you again for joining us. This was really kind of a special episode for me, so I'm really glad to get to do it. Yeah, well, thank you for doing it with me. And so if you want to see more content like this, or whatever kind of content you want to see, let us know in the comments. And like and subscribe. Keep up with us, and we will see you again next time on
Short Rest Studios.
Boom.